I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is Yaya Diamond, and this is Dream Chasers Radio and Yaya Diamond TV and Yaya Diamond. All right, we have an amazing show for you today. We have two authors, not one, two, two authors on there, and you guys know how much I absolutely love books and believe that your education shouldn't be with your thumbs, but with an open page, with a book, with physical copies, or even audiobooks are amazing now. But get away from the screen, guys. Seriously, let's get into some books. Let's dive into that. So, I do have two authors here today, and I want to share my screen with you before I go ahead and introduce them onto the show. But today we're going to be talking about a book called How Christopher T Twinkles Came to Be. And I have the authors here. It is Dr. Mosetta, and I hope I said that right, and also Miss Davinna, and I hope I said that right. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Uh,
Thank you very much for your courtesy.
well, thank you guys so much for being here. It is an amazing thing. So tell me, Dr. Mosetta, how did you and Miss Davina get involved with each other?
Well, we belong to an artificial world that puts together people who of like minds and interests called Second Life, and I've been there almost 20 years. Davina's been there about 10, and one of our mutual friends suggested that we get together because they knew that I was an author and that Davina was interested in writing something. She had something, some idea that she wanted to work on, put away for about 35 years.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
lordy, lordy, lordy.
And she decided that she wanted to work on it, but she didn't know how to do it. So she
Uh,
asked me if I would teach her how to write and if I would help her write this book.
that is amazing. So all both of you are
Yeah.
involved with the same kind of group. That's kind of cool. So how did okay, so Miss Davina, how did you meet Dr. Mosetta and how did you I mean like you had to have some kind of confidence to go ahead and ask doctor to actually help you with this book.
It took a lot of nerve. And of course, I sent her the story of Christopher, 350 words. Boy, I was so proud. Uh, that bubble got busted real quick.
Oh
She
goodness.
she said that is the most atrocious writing I have ever heard. But she, yeah, but she liked the concept,
Mm.
and so we got together and with her knowledge and what she knows, and she helped me make it into a book.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So now that we know you both wrote the book and that you guys kind of came together because of some kind of a club that you guys are involved in and the group and all that stuff, tell me about this book because now I'm interested. I mean, how did you guys? I mean, okay, so was the title How Christopher T Twinkles Came to Be the title in the beginning?
Well, it it's interesting because uh, I got hold of a 1988 Gerber bear. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yes.
Okay, and so when I have always had an imagination, so I thought, so I was thinking of different life forms. And teddies have always symbolized love unconditionally.
Hmm.
And I thought maybe I could turn that attribute into a form that could enhance other people's lives. And what better way than writing a book about love offered without compromise to all critters by a teddy bear who came to life?
Oh, that is so cool. Is this a kid's book?
Yes.
Yes and no. I think that it goes from 8 to 88.
Well, yeah, I'm a superhero. You can't tell me anything different.
Yes, definitely, absolutely. And but I think some people would think it was for kids. It will be fine for reading like a chapter per night for a kid, but it's not as easy for a child to read it by itself.
Okay,
So
I
yeah.
got you. I got you. So tell me about Christopher.
Chris, you mean the storyline of Christopher?
Yes, tell me. Because
Well,
you came up with the okay, so Davina, you came up with the storyline, and then
okay.
of course Dr. Mosetta just kind of said, no.
Well,
But originally, what Davina was saying to me was she had this idea that she wanted to talk about a teddy bear being the expression of love.
Mhm.
Okay, which that was fine. It was just the writing that was so bad, that.
at that,
and and
at that,
she actually thought that 350 words would make a book. So I told her, I
well,
said, well, we have 2 years of work to do.
Oh goodness.
she,
Okay. I said, now when we get to,
she told me, she said, she said, I said 350 words. She said, no. I said, well, how many it's got to be? She said, well, you can start with 30,000. I said, are you out of your mind? Oh
and
my
she told
God.
me she could never do it.
Oh
And I
wow.
told her that was not true. She would be able to do it.
I
Hmm.
said, how am I going to do that? She said, three words: show, don't tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That
Okay.
is so cool. So
Okay.
okay, so Christopher T Twinkles, what character, what is the attributes of that character? Because I mean, that kind of the name alone just kind of piques my curiosity.
Well,
Good. Thank you.
okay. Now this is what. Now, of course, I love outer space. I still remember watching Sputnik in the sky. Okay, and wondering how in the world they got it up there, and I was mad at the Russians for doing it. But anyway, uh, Christopher was, uh, you know, it was.
It's set in outer space.
Yeah, yeah, and there was a war, a failure to communicate between humans and Zoroastrians. Okay, and a treaty was finally signed after the spokesperson of Zora saw a bedraggled teddy bear being dragged across the spaceship's floor by the human's granddaughter. Now, teddy bears are used in their mate selection. Nowadays, teddy bears are used in their mate selection celebration. The The female select a mate depending on the care given by the male of his teddies.
Mhm.
Similar to the Indian maiden selected her mate by the care he took care of his ponies. So that's what the teddy bears are used for in Zola.
Wow. Wow. That is, I mean, for me, that's like, okay, creativity. I mean, you have to have some kind of an imagination in order to get that done. I mean, even the outline itself, a teddy bear, just like a teddy bear in space.
Now, Missy Christie, I got this written out here for you. Missy Christie is a female dock unloader who is ridiculed and laughed at every day at work because of her small size and timid nature. A teddy bear crate falls and shatters. Missy Christie covers it with her Zoratron eyelet, not her main eye tears. The bear comes to life. The king of Zora declares it must be returned to Earth and destroyed. Missy Christie asserts her rights, basically.
That is wow. Wow. And so the you expanded on that. I mean, it took how long? You said 2 years. So it took 2 years to expound upon that and the basis of that. Okay, so are you satisfied with the product that you have today? Did you have to change it at any given time?
Oh, we've changed it a lot. Okay. I mean, for one of the things that I had to make sure that Lavina did was that we were going to make this a strong woman, not
Hmm.
some woman who was dependent upon men. Okay,
Right.
all right. So because that's where Lavina and I first got into one of our very first conflicts was on how strong this character was going to be.
I gotcha.
Okay, so so now we have a woman who's going to fight for the rights of her creation. Okay, even though it was an accident that it became alive, she's she spends her time fighting for the creation for that creation, and that is where I think of the main changes came for Christopher, where we have this mother who will not allow her child to be destroyed.
Mm,
Okay, and the mother makes, she's the one who makes the decision as to
mm,
what's going to happen to her child, and then when she makes that decision, she goes and goes before the king of this country and demands the life be continued. That
mm.
was her choice.
Wow. Wow.
And
What a
then
mother
she has
won't
to
do.
just, I'm sorry.
I'm
And
sorry.
then,
I'm just saying what a mother won't do for her child. That's just amazing.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has to decide that the child is old enough to go off on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that becomes another decision, a very hard decision for her to make.
And they have three, and there's three simple-minded, to put it mildly, simple-minded security guards at the back.
Males, of course.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, they're Montoids. They
Mm-mm.
do the security work on Zora for the Zoratron, and
Mm.
and then they get hold of a intergalactic warrior, a Tricat. You can't pronounce his name, so they call him T10. And he goes to the lawyer also because he's been the power of love has changed him from a warrior to somebody who understands things.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes and testifies also. And then there's in the court. And then there's also battles in space with people that they want to destroy him, and others want to grab him. It's a mess.
Wow. Oh wow. And is this at all based on real, true, not really like true, how would I say, circumstances, but more like true possible circumstances, but set in a fantasy world?
I think that all women have the capacity to fight for their young. I think
Mm-hmm.
all creatures have the capacity to do that. You
Yeah.
see, you see, mother dogs who will not eat any food, but just eat enough to be able to have milk to nurse their litter.
Yeah.
And you see wolves and bears and polar bears will do anything to protect their young. Okay,
Yeah.
so you we see that in real life. We see that in nature a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and we just tried to come up with some kind of outer space concept because the Venus is really into outer space. So we decided we would do that.
Awesome. That's just wonderful. I absolutely love that you guys came together and made something so rich. And I understand it's based on, like outer space and teddy bear. I got it. But there is like a learning concept behind this. What would you guys, each one of you, say that the learning concept behind this would be for you?
Well, I think that the main learning concept is that you can do anything you put your mind to, first of all. And secondly, love is more important than hatred or narcissism or any of that kind of thing. You just because you want something done, you need to look at the greater good. It's
Mm,
just that simple.
yeah, definitely. And Davina,
Yes, ma'am.
what do you say that learning concept behind the book is?
Well, I put a little bit of myself into this. I mean, I didn't even realize it until I started rewriting it and think, oh, shoot. Okay. Uh, the, uh, my generation, you know, they didn't tolerate people who were different.
Mm,
Okay. And I'm left handed, one strike. No depth perception, that's two strikes. And being clumsy because I couldn't do sports and stuff, so that was three strikes. And I was shy around others. I was ridiculed and harassed. So I identified with Missy Christie on that one.
mm.
I think that was part of it.
Wow. Wow, that's so cool. What would you say to someone who maybe would be in your predicament, Davina, if they needed to reach out to somebody to help them, like Dr. Mosetta? How would you tell them? Should they do that? Should they reach out?
I would say that love knows no race, color, creed, or gender. Love is love. And that's what I wanted to show here, too. You
Mm.
know,
And Dr. Mosetta, what do you say to people who need to reach out to someone like yourself? Should they reach out?
I think that first of all, they need to know some facts about ghostwriting and that kind of thing because I've had people come to me and say, "Well, would you write this book for me?" And I say, "You don't want me to write it for you. You want to learn how to write."
Mhm.
And they said, "Why don't you just write it for me?" I said, "Do you understand that's a six-figure consideration?"
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, I didn't know it was going to cost that much." I said, "I had one gentleman. I'll never forget this. One man was he called me on the phone. He said, "I'm going to give you a whole $100 if you write a book for me."
Whole $100.
Uh-huh. And I said, "First of all, who are you? Who recommended you? And why do you think I want to write a book for you?"
Exactly, for $100, no less.
For
Yeah.
anything reason. I mean,
It was
he was being this
encouraged.
authoritative man, and I don't work real well with authoritative men, you know,
Mhm.
because there's going to be a conflict in our personalities.
Yeah.
And so he was outdone when he found out that what I was charging him to do that. Then when when he came back to me, he said, "I didn't know it was going to cost that much, and can't we work something out?" I said, "I'm sorry, no, you approached me the wrong way, so you could find somebody else."
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, goodbye.
Yeah.
It was a dark and stormy night. That's all you get.
Give me my $100.
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't. He didn't. I didn't even give him that. I just. But Davina. Well, Davina and I are so much alike that we have become sisters. Okay,
Mm.
we this is what we always say: we may or may not be biologically linked.
Oh.
Okay, because we're so much alike,
Mhm.
and we answer each other's thoughts and that kind of thing. And there's nothing I would not do for her. So therefore, of course, I didn't charge her a penny.
Right.
Okay, and
Mhm.
yet at the same time, we've always been very generous with one another. Okay, and so if somebody wants to talk with someone that's a ghostwriter or whatever, or to co-author something, they need to make sure they have all the parameters set up in ahead of time.
Mhm.
Okay, because there is it has to be a simpatico relationship. It just has to be.
I got you.
And may I say something here?
Yes, definitely. Go
I
ahead.
think I misunderstood your question, and I apologize.
No, it's okay.
I have learned one thing I'd pass on. If you want to write, be prepared. You have to have the time. You have to have the
Yeah,
ability to absorb criticism by people who know more and recognize they know more and adapt to that. And two, never, never, never give up on your dream, whatever it is. Don't give up on it and keep working for it.
That's right.
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for being on the show. I appreciate it. You guys have been such an inspiration and coming on together. And Miss Davina, if you do write another book, you're going to have to get Dr. Mosetta to do the book with you again.
Well, we're in the middle of writing. How many more books do we have on the Vina?
I'm sorry.
How many more books have we started?
Uh, one, two, three, uh, two that are almost finished.
You're right.
Oh
We have
my
two books on the
God.
trip. I have already written about a few books in the
Mhm.
past,
Oh, they don't.
and I'm rewriting what I'm doing. And I'm doing individually. I'm doing two more books.
Oh, yeah. The
Okay.
book of Mankato of her that she has written is, oh my God, it's probably the best fantasy you'll ever read.
Wow.
It's incredible.
Well, you guys are going to have to come back.
Well, I thank you very much. I
No problem.
appreciate that.
Anytime. Anytime. You're gonna have to come back when the books are done, and we're gonna have to get more about you guys because this is just a camaraderie. This is like you guys are so intertwined and so fixed together that one without the other just doesn't work.
Well, I promise you that when we get the next book done, we will reach out to you.
Please do, please do. And right now we're talking about how Christopher T Twinkles came to be, and you can get that on Amazon. But I'm gonna have the link in the description box below for those of you who don't know. And also, you can just go ahead and get that link. Just put it in if you are watching on TV, Comcast, Roku, or any other station. I'm gonna go ahead and say how Christopher T Twinkles came to be is look. You can look it up on Google. Is it also anywhere else besides Amazon?
Pretty much in every bookstore and every online bookstore that you can find.
There you
And
go.
Barnes and Nobles also.
That's
Hmm.
right. That's right. So we're going to go ahead and put that information also in the description on Roku and any place else we can put it. But if you can't find it, it'll always be on YouTube. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to dare to be different. And until next time, guys, see you later.
Thank you for the
Thank you for having us.
No problem. Thank you for watching.